Yo, what's going on guys, it's Rest. In this video, I want to update my day 1 rate build. This is the final form of it. This is what I'm going to run. As you already know, I've already made the other day 1 rate build, but in that video, I said things could change around and this is what they have changed around to. Now, if you want to take that other build into the raid on day 1, you can very much do that as well because it is still a very, very good build. I personally think this build I'm running now is just going to work better with our team, and overall, the playstyle of it is just a little bit more fun for me. Now, this video is more so going to be just talking about the weapons that I'm going to be running and some of the interactions with our mods, because this build is pretty much the best build this season, build that I made, the build that you'll never take off on your Warlock. It's changed around a little bit, and I will talk about what it did change, but that build is still extremely strong, one of the best builds in the game, and that is what I'm going to be taking in the day 1 raid. But I'm going to explain everything, so let's just jump right into this. So the reason I am taking Void now is simply for the fact that pretty much all of my teammates are going to be running Void, so we're going to be spawning Void wells everywhere, so we're all going to have access to volatile rounds. So again, if you want a more in-depth look at all the armor and fragments and aspects, go check the video out. But to put it simple as a recap, I'm basically taking a bunch of aspects and fragments that really go for our vortex grenade. I'm also going to run controversial hold so I can get my grenade back as much as possible. But the mods I'm going to be running are things like elemental ordnance for my build specifically, because this is how I'm going to spawn elemental wells. Obviously, a lot of hunters are going to use a reaping well maker, so when you dodge, you're going to get the well to spawn. But this is how I'm going to be spawning a bunch of void elemental wells. Now, to take advantage of void elemental wells, I'm also going to be using things like Font of Might, obviously, so I get the damage for my void weapons when I pick it up. Well of Tenacity, so I get some damage reduction when I pick a void well up. It is around 50% damage reduction. And then on top of that, I also obviously have Volatile Flow. So Volatile Flow, when you pick the well up, you get your volatile rounds that literally blow everything up. It's like Firefly for all your void weapons. Now, the change I made is I used to run Bountiful Wells to spawn too, but I've actually changed to run Seeking Wells. This mod is extremely good. So whenever you create a well, that well is going to track to you and some other players. So that makes it really easy. So if you throw a grenade far away, or specifically on hunters, if you dodge and you kill an enemy far away, that well is actually going to start coming to you and you don't have to run into the thick of battle to grab it. And with 6 people on your team running that mob with void subclasses, you're going to have void wells literally coming to you everywhere, which in return obviously is going to proc all your mods that I just went over, and you're going to be able to keep volatile flow and your damage reduction up an insane amount. Now, other little things is just the thermo shock plating mod with a void damage resist. I have Devouring Depths, gets more super damage if I have Devour proc, Overload Grenades, because there might be Overload champions. And then one of the other main little mods that I don't see a lot of people talking about is this little mod right here, Psionic Forging. So increase the duration of land take, origin trait, and the effect of Hawk Breach augments origin trait. So the second part is kind of whatever. I mean, I will be using a Hawk or Rocket, but the main part is that land tank increase. So going into weapons now, which I'm going to spend most of the time on, the main weapon I'm going to be running is Under Your Skin. This is a void bow that comes from the new, seasonal activity. And you can get some crazy rolls in this, but honestly, I think the best roll to go for is Enhanced Archer's Tempo and Enhanced Successful Warm-Up with Fiberglass Arrow Shaft and Elastic String. So this is going to keep your accuracy at 85 on top of giving you a 576 draw time. And with Archer's Tempo and Successful Warm-Up, you draw this bow like crazy. Like, you can fire like a machine gun. You have a bow reloader on here. This thing is a literal turret shooting arrows out everywhere. On top of Volatile Flow, you're going to be one-shotting a lot of ads, and I'm running minor spec on it just to make sure I can one-shot some red bars with Volatile Flow. Now, Land Tank is a very, very good perk. So Farm Blows with this weapon grant increased resilience and additional damage resistance from combatants. So you're going to have damage resistance from Wall of Tenacity when you pick up a Void Well, which you're going to be doing a lot with this weapon because it is Void, and you're going to be throwing grenades everywhere. But this is also going to give you 15% damage reduction when it stacks up to 3 times. It goes 5, 10, and 15. You can stack to 3 times, and with that mod, it actually makes it last longer. So Land Tank only has a 5-second-ish uptime. So if you can keep getting kills within that 5 seconds, it's good. But with 1 point of this mod, it actually bumps that all the way up to 10 seconds, which is crazy good. Having 10 seconds of an additional 15% damage reduction on top of the extra resilience is insanely strong. And since it is 10 seconds, that's going to go hand in hand with things like Devour on the Warlock. And then every time you keep getting a kill, you're reprocking Land Tank for damage reduction, and you're reprocking Devour for grenade energy and health. You're going to be very, very tanky with this bow. It's going to work with all your mods that you already have set up. I honestly think it is one of the best primaries you could take into the game on top of things like the Funnel Web. But speaking of things like the Funnel Web, I don't have a very good one, so I'm going to be running things like Reckless Oracle. This did not change. Again, just if I need to proc a lot of volatile flow on enemies. Just I can get it out there like that. Also, just have a battler with demo adrenaline junkie because my whole build is based around grenades. Obviously, I won't be able to take advantage of our mods a lot with this, but I can get my grenade back. True Teller, again, this is void, so I can take advantage of a lot of our mods, but this is going to blind enemies. Definitely be sure to have a blinding grenade, please, in each slot if possible when you go into the raid because they are super duper strong. Then I also have a glaive just in case I need that. I do need to actually still get some better perks on this though. Now for exotics in this slot, I have a Tiku's Divination. This is insanely good bow. It is one of the best in the game. It can kill majors. It now with the 40% PV damage buff, it just destroys red bars. It is insanely good for ad clear. I would highly recommend having this, especially if a lot of people are running it. But if you don't, it's definitely not the most necessary thing. It's just something I really prefer. Now, Dead Messenger, again, if there's ever a shielded part, we need to take some shields off on top of Dead Messengers being very good for ad clear. This is also a weapon I'm taking into it. You're going to be able just to clear an entire hallway out if you need to. And then Graviton Lance, I am going to take as well because this is going to work super duper well. Again, if you watch the other video, this basically calls double explosions because of all the mods that you're running on top of what the exotic perk already does. So now you're just going to be able to have, you know, an explosive build at long range, even though the bow kind of doesn't. But if you need to have this on for any scenario, you can put this on as well. Now in the other slot, I'm going to be running Partner Dust. This is a blinding grenade launcher, again with auto loading holster. 100% recommend taking a blinding grenade launcher. And Partner Dust, Under Your Skin, and Parasite is what I'm going to run going into there. Obviously I have all these weapons because I want to be flexible and I can change it to whatever I need to change it to. But this is the starting loadout I am going to run just to blind things, kill things a lot with Under Your Skin, and then if there's ever a huge target, Parasite will kill them. But again, just a blinding grenade launcher. Now, I'm also going to be running Izanagi's Burden. This is, you know, again, for a huge chunk of damage. Also going to be my bossing weapon. So if I come down here, I take, you know, Palmyra on with auto-loading Lasting Depression. I put Izanagi's on. Essentially, what you can do is shoot your rocket. It's going to stick on them, swap to your Izanagi's, shoot the shot, reload your Hone Dead shot. By the time that's reloaded, this is going to be reloaded again. Your rocket's going to be blown up. Shoot it. Again, shoot this again. Reload, rocket blows up, it's reloaded, and you know, you just keep going back and forth. That is pretty much the boss damage I'm going to be doing. It is a little bit more skillful, I guess, than, you know, just shooting at somebody with, you know, just rockets in general, but whichever way can work. This is just what I'm going to be probably doing for most of the part, but I also have other options too if this isn't the easiest thing to do, like if the boss isn't, you know, a super easy crit spot. But going back to other weapons, I do have Outbreak, and I'll just equip this so you can see it better, but I have Outbreak. Again, if my whole team is running Outbreak, it becomes even stronger. It's one of the best active weapons in the game, especially for long range. Yes, it doesn't play with our mods super duper well, but it is still just very, very strong. Now again, Wither Horde for ad clear, it's saying that if you have a Wither Horde and a Vortex Grenade with Controversial Hold and all our, you know, mods and stuff, this thing just destroys any, you know, hallway of enemies coming out at you. I'm 100% taking Wither Horde. I might even swap to something like Wither Horde at the end of the raid and maybe put on Falling Guillotine just to, you know, ad clear if I need to. Then I also have things like Night Watch, just a long range primary option. Succession, you know, this is okay for boss damage. It's good for taking out long range targets if I need to. Fatebringer, just, you know, for Firefly if I need to proc stuff. Fatebringer is always really good. And then I have a shotgun. If I do need to swap to something that's rushing me, I can, you know, put Heritage on and pretty much insta kill them with that. And then in heavies, Yellowhorn, again, insanely good for DPS. Most of the time, you're going to want one person running it with 5 other very good legendary rockets, but I do have it just in case. It's also really good for ad clear as well. If there's a part, you know, everybody can just do Yellowhorn on, you're going to have an insane amount of rockets because pretty much one rocket can ad clear an entire room. And if you have 6 people with we're all running a Yellowhorn with the catalyst, you have a ton of rockets that you can dispose if you found them correctly. Also, Sleeper Sim, like a Sleeper still hits like a truck. I would definitely still take this. Obviously, it's not as good with particle deconstruction going, but it's still insanely good. We'll spare the Worm too, just in case. Somebody probably should bring Divinity. I also have Divinity on demand if I need to bring that as well, if I need to be the Divinity person. But Whisper the Worm is going to be, you know, insanely good too if there ever is a situation where this gun can't shine. Lament, because Lament is just the best sword in the game if you need to sword for anything. If a boss like Atrax comes up again, you best believe I'm going to be using Lament. But I also am running Red Herring. This is also going to work with your mod. So if I want to run something other than Guillotine, specifically for like ad clear, I can run this because I'll get volatile rounds. I have enhanced fill prep and enhanced frenzy on it, so to just get some damage and ammo, reload speed, all that good stuff. and it will just clear out whatever big target, especially with volatile rounds proc. But again, Parasite, I've already talked about. Guillotine, I've kind of already mentioned as well. But again, just if I need to source some stuff, this also will work with volatile rounds. And if you've seen a pattern here, yes, volatile rounds is a huge part of all of these weapons. Yes, some can't take advantage of it, but honestly, those weapons I probably won't be using too much. But volatile flow is literally one of the best mods in the game right now. You want to try to take advantage of it as much as possible. Not only is it insanely good for ad clear, it is insanely good for doing extra damage to bosses as well if you are using a specific void weapon. I probably am also going to add Deathbringer over here to my heavy slot as well, due to the fact that each little Deathbringer ball actually does proc the volatile flow, and it technically already has one of the highest DPSs in the game. So Deathbringer could also be an option, so I probably will, put Deathbringer over here as well. But that is pretty much the weapon update. I hope that explained, everything why I'm running this stuff. Again, a lot of this is just to be flexible. Obviously, if I could tell you Partner Dust, Under Your Skin, and Parasite is the go-to best 3 weapons you can use in the raid. That's what I would tell you to run, but we just don't know yet, and pretty much every raid scenario is different at this point. So having something for ad clear is really good, having something for single target damage is really good, and you just have to be very flexible, especially in a day 1 raid, and you have to be prepared for anything that they throw at you. And again, all the mods, just be sure you have something to proc volatile flow. Your whole team probably is, because everybody's probably going to be running Void 3.0, and you're going to be able to just destroy everything. Also, I guess it's a little tip, just be sure to also have access to champion mods, because pretty much every raid has had overload champions in them. Obviously, my grenade does overload, but there's anti-barrier. I do have anti-barrier bow, but I have access to swap to anything I need to. That is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys learned. If you did, consider doing all the normal YouTube stuff. I wish you all the best of luck on the day 1 raid, but thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.